Good evening, and thank you for staying up late with us on this election night. I'm Adam Seibel. We're following two big school board races tonight in the Victoria ISD District 3. We have two candidates vying for single trustee member. Incumbent Brett Baldwin faces BJ Nelson. In early voting, incumbent Brett Baldwin received 47% of the vote, and BJ Nelson received 52% of the vote. 25 News Now anchor Karina Garcia is following this race and has more.
Hey Adam, I'm here with projected winner BJ Nelson. She was the runner-up candidate in the District 3 race against Brett Baldwin. So I know right now it's a pretty close call, but you are the projected winner. How does that feel, and did you expect this kind of turnout?
Well, I'm super excited about all the support that I received. Today, going from precinct to precinct, seeing all the people out, giving us the thumbs up and honking their horns. So it was exciting to be part of a community that was supporting our mission today.
No, yeah, and so you mentioned earlier that something that is on your concern is Senate Bill F95, or 595, correct? Yes. So tell me about that and why that's so concerning.
Well, one of the things that I ran on was the data mining of our children and then the dashboards that the district is actually creating. So we are hoping that because of this bill that's been gotten into the Senate, that it will actually, become a law, and that it will then be illegal to data mine our children with surveys. And there are many reasons why it's bad. One, it takes time away from their education, and they need every minute they can get. It's also inappropriate to have dashboards on the kids because that's a slippery slope we do not want to go down. So we're excited about what's happening in Austin. We're excited about getting some people here elected that can put that on the agenda to get that permanently removed.
Got it. So to speak, say come Monday, you have a new office, new colleagues. What is something that you want to start working on?
Well, learning more. I have never sat in a school board seat. I want to learn, do a lot of listening, a lot of reading. I'm a student. Whenever I'm trying to learn something, I read everything. So I'm excited to get to know those people better. But mainly, first and foremost, I represent the people that voted me in. So those are the people that I'm listening to.
Well, Nelson, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you inviting us into this beautiful home of yours.
Yeah, of course.
All right. And Adam, back to you in the studio.
All right. Thanks, Karina. On the ballot for today's election, a $10 million bond facility bond to build a 3-story student success center for Victoria College. The college already had $26.5 million in committed grants, gifts, and institutional funds. It would fund a $36.5 million student success center. You can see this passed with 54% of voters saying yes. The homeowner with a $100,000 home would see $2.10 for 3 years. The rate would go down $5.80 in 2027 due to paid off bond debt. There's not a tax rate increase for homeowners over the age of 65 or residents with disabilities who have filed for exemption. 25 News Now anchor Carolina Estrain spoke with Victoria College President Dr. Kent.
I'm joined now by Dr. Jennifer Kent, president of Victoria College. She's here to talk to us about the unofficial results for the VC facility bond. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, it's wonderful that you made time to come out on a Saturday night. It's an election night, and we're going to be up late here waiting for those final unofficial results. But in the meantime, it's just about a little bit past 9 p.m. this interview, and so far you're about 10 points ahead, a little bit over 300 votes ahead in this election, in the race, in the fight for this new Student Success Center.
That's right. Yeah, we are very hopeful that the end result will be positive, but regardless, that doesn't change our commitment to our students and helping them to get ready to have a really good job in this community and in this region. And so we just want to take the opportunity to thank everyone, from our board of trustees, our employees, our students, alumni, our foundation members. Just everyone really came together to really get the word out about our students, and we're just excited that we had the chance to do that over the last several months.
And this is a long time coming in a way. It's been a plan that's been put in action since 2017 when the Board of Trustees voted to move forward, and this is the final piece of your facility master plan.
It is. Yeah, it is. And we actually, that initial planning started in 2016. And so from the time the board adopted the plan and we started moving forward, we've had so much support with our fundraising and our grant writing. And this is, like you said, that final project. We've already identified 73% of the funds needed. And so this is just that little last bit to push us over the finish line.
And you have that about $600,000 to help pay that debt down so that taxpayers, homeowners, don't have to suffer that brunt as long.
That's true. You know, I want to just say very quickly, I've been really impressed with our CFO and our Board of Trustees that really looked at how can we minimize the impact to taxpayers. And to see this bond proposal put together in such a way that does that was very reassuring, because we know the appraisals came in higher than what we were all expecting or hoping for. But at the end of the day, the 4-year net increase to the taxpayer is only 50 cents for every $100,000 of valuation. And so that was as low as we could get the impact. Yeah.
It's an incredibly considerate bond package that y'all put together. And
thank you.
We look forward to getting those final results. Perhaps a celebration is in store for us.
We'll see.
All right, Dr. Kent, well, thank you for joining us
this
election night. And it's back to you at the desk.
All right, thanks, Carolina. And looking at those results for that right now, this was updated 2 minutes ago on our app, Crossroads Today. It looks like it's still ahead, 54.1% for and 45.9% against. So those results, like I said, just updated 2 minutes ago. So we're still getting those results in. You can always go to our website or the app, both free to download or visit. So in the Victoria ISD District 5, we had 2 candidates vying for single trustee member. Rick Jones unseated incumbent Tammy Keeling for Victoria ISD trustee member in District 5. In early voting, incumbent Tammy Keeling received 35% of the vote, with her opponent Rick Jones receiving 64% of the vote. 25 News Now reporter Adarius McCormick spoke with the winning candidate and has more.
Well, Adam, I am here with the brand new seat for Board of Trustees District 5, Mr. Rick Jones. Mr. Rick Jones, you won an upset victory. How does it feel to, be in this seat now?
It feels great. The people of Victoria have spoken. They want some changes made to the school district, and I'm ready to work with the school board to make those changes happen.
Okay, so my thing is, a lot of people run for this position because they have children in the school district. They have ties to the school district. You don't necessarily have those ties. Can you tell me why it was important for you to run for this position?
I do work with kids a lot at the church, and I can see the effect of educational issues with those kids. Also, when I worked at the plant, I interviewed a lot of potential operators and mechanics out there, and you could see the issues that they would have with reading, writing, and arithmetic. And it just felt to me like a school district is letting our kids down. And I know we can do better for the kids. That's our future.
There's a lot of issues going on with school, as in school safety, issues with gun violence. We have issues with just a lot of stuff going on, teacher shortages, stuff like that. One issue we deal with here is the anti-LGBT stuff going on in school. Do you feel like there's a place for LGBT in education?
I feel that relationship, that discussion needs to happen between the parent and the student. That is a personal issue. The parent should have that discussion. The school board, the school should not be involved in that thing. It should be between the parent and the student.
And also, we seen a scandalous article come out with your name involved. Can you just tell us your side and just alleviate public fears about what's going on in that article?
Certainly, that article was full of false accusations. There's not one shred of evidence offered because there is none. The article had a lot of false accusations. Fortunately, the people of Victoria saw through the smoke and they were able to vote for the truth.
Okay, and as you say the truth, your truth is back to basics. You said it several times, back to basics. Can you explain to me what back to basics actually means for our students?
It means teaching our children how to read and write and do arithmetic. There's a high percentage of students today that after they graduate, they still need to go to remedial reading and remedial math to get to college classes. We should be able to do better than that for our kids when they come out of high school. They don't need to take remedial classes if you've taught them right. So that's what I'm talking about, teaching them how to read, write, and do arithmetic.
Okay, and you heard it here first, folks, from the new District 5 seat, Mr. Rick Jones. Yes, sir, it does. Back to y'all in the studio reporting live. I'm Adarius McCormick here with Mr. Rick Jones, KAVU TV 25 News Now.
All right, thanks, Adarius. So here's your viewer poll tonight, and you can scan that QR code right there on your screen to vote right now. So what item got you out to vote in this election? VISD District 3, it looks like 17% for that. VISD District 5, 7%. The Victoria College Bond, 37%. I voted in another county, 6%. And I did not vote this time, 33%. Thank you all for voting. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate. Over in the Industrial ISD, we had 4 candidates vying for the school board trustee. In early voting, Ashley Jalufka leads with 36% of the vote. Jennifer Martin won 29% of the vote. The 2 top voters get the vote getters win there. Michelle G. Smith received 26% of the vote, and Charles Bethany behind with 9%. So here's a look at voter turnout in this election for Victoria County. 4,570 voters cast ballots. That's about 8% of the 55,107 registered voters in Victoria County. In the Cuero ISD for District 3, we have 2 candidates vying for Board of Trustee. Courtney Moore faced Wanda Campbell Prince Zuniga. Zuniga wins with 61% of the vote. For Cuero City Council at large, we have Brian Ladwig with 14% of the vote, Emil Garza with 47% of the vote, and Bill Mathis with 38%. This may result in a runoff. This is early voting, and right now none of the candidates has at least 50% of the vote. For Refugio County's general election, we had 2 candidates for alderman, place 1. Karen A. Watts was up against Lala Vasquez. Vasquez wins with 52% of the vote. Watts trailing behind with 47%. Vying for alderman place 2 in Refugio County, we have 2 candidates. Tiffany W. Perez faces off against Leonard Onzaluga. Onzaluga winning with this race with 55% of the vote. For Port Lavaca City Council, we had 2 candidates vying for District 1 seat. Daniel Aguirre wins the District 1 seat with 69% of the vote to Mike McGuire's 31%. For the Yoakum ISD bond election, we have Proposition A. This passes with 307 votes for Yoakum ISD's General Facilities Proposition A, which addresses district-wide safety, security, and renovations, plus new CTE or career and technical education like AG, horticulture, welding, and maintenance of buildings. For the Yoakum ISD bond election, we have Proposition B. It passes with 289 votes for Proposition B. YISD is asking voters to move $4.1 million from the M&O budget to the INS budget. Under both the old law and the new law, refunding maintenance tax notes must be submitted to the voters in a separate ballot proposition. This type of refunding moves debt from the maintenance and operations part of the district budget to the interest and sinking fund part of the district budget. INS debt must be voter approved. For the Yoakum ISD bond election, we also have Proposition C. Proposition C also passes with 257 votes in favor. It would support athletic facilities that are not stadiums. If approved by the voters, Proposition C would update the baseball field and infrastructure at the tennis courts and allow YISD to construct a softball complex on campus. And for the Yoakum ISD bond election, we also have Proposition D. This one failed with 254 votes against and the proposition in only 222 votes in favor. The Yoakum ISD Proposition D would have addressed safety improvements, including security, stadium lighting, track resurfacing, and turf replacement at Bulldog Stadium. If the seating capacity had been less than 1,000, then the Yoakum ISD could have included the stadium improvements in Proposition A. Bulldog Stadium, however, has seating for roughly 4,700, meaning a separate ballot proposition was required by law. For the latest election results tonight, come up to crossroadstoday.com. We have other races like Commissioner District 3 in the Calhoun County Port Authority, where Justin Weaver won with 80% of the vote. All right, now it's time to talk weather on this Saturday night. We're going to go ahead and check in with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist. Put some meteorologist on there because Scott Pitney graduates with his degree next Friday, I think from Mississippi State University. Is that correct, Scott?
Correct, Adam. Go Dogs. Thank you for that. I like the sound of that. So we had a little bit of rain flirting with the west side of the crossroads earlier tonight. That has since dissipated. There's still some heavy storms up in North Texas, but nothing like that around here. We are dealing with heat. The heat is on in the crossroads. Heat indices near 100. We did see several 100-degree readings around the crossroads today. We also have increased chance of rain for later on in the week. We'll talk about that coming up in the full forecast. Adam?
All right. Thanks, Scott. Multiple people shot and 8 people were killed in a mall near Dallas by a gunman who authorities believe was acting alone and who is now dead. And at least 9 victims were transported to trauma facilities. It happened around 3:30 p.m. at a mall in Allen. A Dallas area medical group says it is treating victims as young as 5 years old. Police say they believe the shooter acted alone. Video from above the scene showed hundreds of shoppers exiting the area, many holding their hands up. The aerial footage appeared to show at least 3 bodies covered by sheets outside the mall. Stay with us. Coming up, Iowa City Police says 3 people were stabbed after a large fight broke out around 2 this morning.
And we are going to have heat for the rest of the weekend, but things will start to change next week. We'll talk about it coming up in weather.
A high school junior from Hallettsville died in a vehicle crash Friday. He's identified as Landon Coney. The Hallettsville ISD has extra counselors for students. The district posted a number of resources on its Facebook page for the school and community. 3 people were stabbed during a fight near the University of Iowa campus. When police arrived on the scene around 2 this morning, they say they saw people ran away. They then found 3 men with stab wounds. All were taken to hospitals. They're expected to recover. No arrests were made at this time.
Looking at rain coming toward the end of the week, we'll have all the details coming up in the forecast. Stay with us.
Yeah, no, I got it. Okay. Well, mic check. Hello, Chris. You were very good looking.
And welcome back. Stepping outside, feels like 78. That dew point way up there at 75, which is why it feels so humid. Humidity 94%. Those winds out of the southeast at 11. Temperature right now 77 in Victoria. All 70s around the crossroads except for along the coast. Port Lavaca at 81. Cedar right now checking in at 80 degrees. Dew points high all around the crossroads. A lot of mid 70s. 73 Hallettsville, Quora 76, and Goliad checking in at 75. Around the state, Del Rio 91, Abilene 95, San Angela. That's where that dry line is. A lot of heat out there. And of course, we had those thunderstorms. A lot of them severe, large hail, 1 to 2 inch hail around the Dallas area. And still, I see it on radar. There is some wind damage up in that area as we speak. This is that dry line that's setting up in West Texas. It's been out there for a few days. It's going to be out there for a few more days. This low pressure is going to move off to the northeast, and this high pressure that has been dominating our weather, keeping things generally dry for the most part, is going to move off to the east. When it does, it's going to allow that atmosphere to relax a little bit, allow that air to lift, and we're going to see our rain chances increase through the week. This is Monday at 4 o'clock. Pretty clear, and then when we get to Wednesday, we're going to also see this low pressure develop southwest, and several other mid-level lows will move through the area. But this is Monday at 1 o'clock. We see more widespread rain, some embedded heavier pockets of rain, and that dry line is going to move closer to us, but eventually will be taken over by this cold front. This is Thursday at 1 o'clock. That low pressure getting closer to us, the rain becoming more widespread, also bringing in that southerly flow, giving it more energy. And then look at the rain here on Friday. Nothing really heavy, but very widespread. This is Friday night at 8 o'clock. Now, right now we're saying 30% chance. That's just because we're kind of far out from the period. But as these models start to align, I wouldn't be surprised if those rain chances go up. Saturday, 5 o'clock, still widespread rain around the whole state of Texas. If you're headed out fishing tomorrow, this is the weather out by the buoys. Winds will be in the mid-teens out of the southeast. Temperatures in the mid-70s also along the coast. And then as we get to the evening, those winds die down just a little bit. Temperatures along the coast up a bit into the low 80s. Water temperature right now in Port O'Connor 78. See your high tide 12:09 p.m., low at 12:42 a.m. The winds out of the southeast 10 to 15. Bay waters 2 to 4 feet, slightly choppy. Overnight tonight going down to 73. 20% chance of rain, just might have a lingering shower here and there in the morning. Tomorrow 78 under partly sunny skies. You see your temperatures throughout the day, 83 by noon, 4 p.m. 85, 79 by the evening. Monday mostly cloudy, partly cloudy Tuesday. There's the rain chances. 30% right now, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, up to 60% as that front gets closer to us on Saturday. Of course, you can download the Crossroads app today. Get the latest in news, weather, and sports at your fingertips. Sign up for email alerts, and it's free. Here's Zach Brown with sports.
Thank you, Scott. Many area teams moving on, some going home. I'll have that update coming up in sports. Good evening, Crossroads. St. Joseph softball took on Fort Bend Christian for a chance to go to state. Abby Cantu on the mound for St. Joseph. She went the distance, allowing just 1 earned run and 9 strikeouts. The Flyers trailed until a 4-run 5th inning. Abby can pitch, but oh yeah, she can hit too. An RBI single to help her cause. The Flyers suddenly have the lead, and in the 7th, just trying to hang on, needing 1 more out. A ground ball to Elena St. Jean. The throw in time. The celebration begins. The St. Joseph Lady Flyers are state-bound, squeezing out the win 5-3. That tournament, May 15th in Arlington. Congrats to the Flyers. At Riverside this afternoon, win or go home. Calhoun, an early 2-1 lead, find themselves in some trouble. That fly ball took his momentum away from home plate. Heads up running by Floresville to tie the game at 2 in the 5th. They were down 4-2. Ricky Gonzalez goes yard to cut the deficit down to just 4-3. What a heartbreaker. The Sand Crabs let it get away. That homer was the last run they would score as they fought to Floresville at Riverside. Not what they wanted, but great season for the Calhoun Sand Crabs. Speaking of backs to the wall, the El Campo Ricebirds trying to put away the Lady Gobblers. Not so easy. Cuero forced the game 3, and El Campo woke up the bats, putting up 11 runs. The Gobblers not so shabby either with 6 runs, but it wasn't enough. What a season for Cuero, who took the 1 seed from Navarro, and congrats to the El Campo Ricebirds. And in the Red River Athletic Conference tournament, the 6-seeded Jags continue to shine. The boys absolutely steamrolled second-ranked Louisiana Christian behind a fantastic outing from Brady Parker. He went 6 innings, giving up 2 runs. Both of those runs scored in the first. He was shut down after that. 3 RBIs from center fielder, Raul Lopez. Next up, top-seeded LSU Shreveport tomorrow for a shot in Monday's championship game. The other Jaguar team in the tourney, the UHV softball team. Wild come from behind win. Allison Snedeker, the walk-off in game 1. So for a shot in Sunday's championship game, the girls taking on Our Lady of the Lake University. They were trailing 7-4 in the 7th inning, but boy, has it gotten interesting. They've scored 1 run, 2 outs, bases loaded. Don't count them out just yet. In Shiner baseball and Shiner softball, they are also moving on. And in other news, LeBron James Jr. committed to USC. Adam?
All right, thanks, Zach. Stay with us. We'll be right back in celebration of King Charles III's coronation. Miami lighting up the night sky with an electronic tribute. Britain's Union Jack flag was illuminated on the side of the 60-story Paramount Miami World Center Tower. At 700 feet tall, the red, white, and blue Union Jack ripples across the skyscraper in all its glory. It's a fitting tribute to the newly crowned king and all the British ex-pirates. I don't know that one. Pirates. Maybe Scott will help me out with that one. Who now lives in South Florida. The flag will fly over the city through Sunday. Oh, man, Scott. Do you know what that is?
I believe the word you were looking for was patriots.
I was trying to sound it out up here. I didn't know what he was saying.
Yeah, I think it was misspelled, but I'm just going with context anyway.
Hey, so he's not only is he a meteorologist now, he is a wordsmith.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. I thought it was a great effort anyway. It mixed me up a little as well.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Zach? You think
I was trying to sound it out with him. I had no idea what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was reading.
Wrong. I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm just going with context. I'm just a weather guy. What do I know about it? Speaking of weather, we have some rain coming toward the end of the week. 30% starting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Could see those rain chances going on, especially after looking at that last model run. 60% Saturday as that front gets closer to us. Notice those highs getting out of the high 80s to the mid 80s. So looking forward to a little cool down toward the end of the week.
All righty. Thanks, Scott. Come to crossroadstoday.com for all the election results and more.